name is Ellis Gaming, and you may be able to tell by the title, today is a bit more of a serious topic to talk about. I like doing these talk videos because it's just me kind of like talking to you guys and like giving you advice and stuff, or telling you experiences and what's going on. Yes, I am recording a different location. I'm back in my room. Sorry about the lighting. It is a bit weird. I don't know how it's going to come out on camera, but hopefully it's okay. Because I'm not recording in the office today, because I'm also going to record another video after. But I'm not going to talk about that for any longer, because this video is really important. There's not going to be any like there's not going to be me having a laugh about it. It's very serious, and I'm going to be sharing my personal experience with it, and also I'm just going to give some advice, not necessarily to, I don't know how to word it, like to give advice personally, because obviously I'm not a professional, like I am just a teenager, like I just turned 15, like I'm not going to be able to personally help unless it's something that I can give a little bit of advice on or lead you in the right direction. So here it is. This week is Children's Mental Health Week, and I don't know what is going on with the lighting, and basically mental health, especially with the virus going on right now, and I feel like it's very important to talk about because a lot of people have been like experiencing it more. Like they've been realising, oh, something just isn't okay and I'm not feeling my greatest. And I felt it personally. Like the first lockdown was fine, I felt. For me it was very mixed, but that was 6 months and it was very difficult. Like doing my schoolwork, I couldn't. Towards the end of the term, in term 6, because it was from term 5 to term 6, our lockdown, and it was really stressful and it was really difficult, and I just gave up doing schoolwork, which obviously didn't help me in the long run. I mean, I did some of my work still, but I just wasn't doing all my lessons because I physically could not push myself to do it. And then second lockdown kind of happened, and it was just like, it's not really anything different. It's like a week or two, it's fine. It's not a big deal. And then lockdown 3, I feel a bit different about it because things started to seem okay and then everything went wrong. Like there was talk of the vaccine, and then there was the spike in cases, and it was so all over the place, and no one, even now, we still don't know what's going on properly. Like we don't know how we're going to get through it. But I think if people keep following the rules and do actually like stay at home, wear your mask, sanitize, wash hands, like I feel like if people aren't doing it, it's just a bit stupid, because like people are dying, like millions of people have died, probably even billions. I don't have no idea specifically, but it's such a big event. It's not even like it's just the UK, like the whole world, as I'm sure everyone knows, it's a big thing affecting everyone, and it's just had a big impact on people's mental health, because I think people have realised it more and realised that it is tough. Like you will go through a stage, like you could be happy, you could be rich, you can have all this money, but you can't do anything, you can't go anywhere, especially in England, and like it doesn't matter how much money you have, but you can't see anyone apart from on Zoom calls or Discord or like FaceTime or YouTube or whatever you want to do. But like it's not the same, and I think a lot of people will say that because at first I was FaceTiming my best friend Emily. I'm recording a video with her later. We were FaceTiming every day and we were talking to each other, which was fun. We were keeping each other going. And then now we're kind of not doing that because now we're in year 10, basically. I don't mind saying my age because, you know, it doesn't mean much, to be honest. And then it's kind of like, it's more of a big deal. We have to get our work done. And then the pressure from the schools being like, get your work done, try get it all done, get it done in this time. Like, obviously you get that in school, but in school you're there and you've got teachers there, you've got your friends there, you can talk to everyone. And at home it's kind of like you're more on your own, or you don't have the right environment for it, or you don't even have anything to be able to do it and you have to go into school. And it's just really tough. And I wanted to talk about mental health because there's so many different things, like branches of it. So like you've got anxiety, depression, and loads of other things. I cannot think of that many, but I know there is a lot out there, and there's lots of different stages, like especially depression. It's there's a video I'm going to link down below. It is a Daz Games video. He reacts to this woman who basically says depression is all in your head, and it is not, and he explains it perfectly, that it's an umbrella. Like, depression is like the umbrella, and everything, there's so many different things underneath that umbrella, like, it's crazy. And I think it's really important that people know, like, there is someone to talk to, because people feel in certain situations, they feel like they're alone and they don't have anyone to talk to, because no one's going to care, or no one is going to want to hear their problems. They've got enough going on and they don't need me talking about how I feel. But it doesn't even have to be someone who is a close friend or a family member. You don't have to talk to them about it if you don't want to, if you don't feel comfortable doing it. There are many chat places that you can go to, like Helpline or the charities, Samaritans. I'm going to link all of them down below, because I want anyone who is feeling like that to go and talk to them, or just talk to anyone, because it's very cliche, it does actually help you. Like, if you talk to someone, it will feel like you've got everything out, because a lot of the time you're holding your emotions in, and like, you don't express it to anyone or anything. Like, you just let it build up, or you won't let it, but you can't help but let it build up inside of you, and then you can't do anything about it after, because it's gotten so bad and it's really affecting you. I'm going to talk about my own experiences with it, because I mean, I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, she's just attention seeking, she's lying, she's making it up. You can believe that if you want to believe that, but obviously I know what's true, and well, true for me, because I've obviously been through it. But there was a time, I'm not going to say anyone's names, by the way, I'm not going to say exactly the full story, I'm just going to give a rough idea of what it was. So one of my friends, they were really toxic, and I kept staying friends with them, and I stayed friends with them for so long, and they made me feel rubbish, and I woke up every day feeling like, what am I doing here? Like, I shouldn't be alive right now, because I am so stupid and I don't have anything in my future that is worth looking forward to, and if I was gone, no one would care. And it was a really difficult time, because I am quite a chatty person. Like, obviously you could tell from my videos, because I do talk a lot. Before then I was even going through like a period of where I was just staying at home on my own, because I don't really go out a lot apart from in the summer, and I find it easier to just stay at home and be by myself, because I can entertain myself. Like, I'll play Xbox, or I'll play on Sims, or I'll watch YouTube videos or whatever. This was before I started YouTube, and like, I'm perfectly happy being on my own. And then people could see when I was going through it that I was changing, because I used to always be so happy. It sounds really cliche, and everything's going to sound like I'm attention seeking, but like, every day I looked so upset. Like, I would sit in my tutor in the morning, in all my lessons, just sit there like this, and just not even talk to anyone. I'll just blank out and I won't talk to anyone the whole time. And I was doing that in my tutor, and then sometimes when I was in lessons I was just putting on a smile and being really loud to try to cover up for, obviously, all the things I felt inside. I take after my dad. Off topic here, well, on the topic here, but when he was younger and at school, he used to be really brainy. He was really good at maths. He was top set at maths. He was amazing. He was doing really well in his classes, and he got bullied. He got beaten up, and they made him stop wanting to be himself. Like, he was doing rubbish in classes after that. He didn't want to do a lot of the things that he was doing before, and he kind of it knocked his confidence a lot because he felt happy. I don't think he had that many friends at the time, and he didn't have the greatest background. I'm gonna get emotional. Like, I take after my dad a lot because we have quite similar experiences. I was bullied when I went to school. Oh god. I don't want this to be of me crying because, you know, I'm supposed to be talking about being happy, and I've been a lot happier recently. Yeah, basically that happened, and he now regrets not being tougher and just getting over it and telling them to leave him alone, because he obviously he's looking back on it now and he's like, I don't get why I didn't do it. But anyway, going back to the story, in lessons I was putting on a smile, I was being really out there, really loud, and then when I would go home, I do it now sometimes, but I would just sit in my room, I'd close the door, just sit there in my duvet all day and just cry. I used to cry for hours on end, and then I'd even go downstairs with like water pouring out of my eyes, but trying to be quiet and trying to hide my face so my parents couldn't see. And my mum and my dad have split up, so it's my stepdad. I just say parents because it's a lot easier. I try hide it from them, and like, if my mum asks me if I'm okay, I'll just say yeah, I'm fine. Obviously the girl thing is such a big thing, like, oh, I'm fine. If someone ever tells you they're fine, they're not fine. You need to keep asking. Obviously don't pressure them to tell you if they're not comfortable to tell you. But I have this thing with my other best friend, Selens. Whenever she would say I'm fine, I'd be like, you're not fine, tell me what's wrong. She'd be like, I'm fine. I'm like, you're not. And I'd keep going until she said, look, I'm not okay, but I don't want to say anything. That's fine. They don't have to talk to you, they don't have to tell you, but as long as you know they're not feeling their best, then that's all you can do, because you don't want to pressure them into saying stuff. I keep forgetting where I'm going. Oh yeah, I sat in my room crying for hours. I wasn't telling my parents, literally no one knew. And then it got to a really bad point where I really didn't want to be alive. I was hurting myself a lot. I didn't want to do anything. I had so many things that I wanted to do when I was younger, and I just didn't want to do them anymore because I just felt like rubbish, and I basically gave up on everything. I thought, the world is terrible, like, why am I here? Like, no one even cares that I'm here anyway. And it got to a point where obviously I was hurting myself, and I had a bandage on my arm, and I was wearing that into school, and my friends would see it, and I would try to cover it up with my jumper so they couldn't see it, but then they knew every time because it'd be summer, and I'd either have it covered up with my jumper, or I'd have just the bandage open and and I wouldn't tell anyone what was going on. I never properly, this is going to be really bad, but it was never anything like that could really harm me, but it was just little things that I didn't really want anyone seeing because I was embarrassed. And then I showed some of my friends because they were getting worried about me, or they knew anyway, because they realised obviously she's done something, because she's not feeling her best anyway, because I was quite quiet. And then I started talking to my auntie about it, and I was telling her everything because I knew she wouldn't tell my parents, and then I started to feel a bit better. Obviously I didn't like stop everything at that point, but then it just helped to talk to someone and tell someone, because obviously a lot of people have been through similar stuff, but you just don't talk about it. And then I told my sister, and I used to talk to my sister about it all the time. I used to tell her how I was feeling, and it was really hard. And then I told my friends a lot more about it, and I started to feel a bit better because they were reassuring me, obviously everything's going to be fine, but like they weren't just saying that, because a lot of people say that, and saying everything is going to be fine isn't always helpful. You need to either direct them to someone who can actually talk to them properly about it, or just try listen to them and hear what they're saying, because obviously if you let them vent out there how they're feeling, and obviously if it's not going to affect you and you know you'll be fine, obviously if your friend's not fine, you're not going to be great, but if you just let them talk it out, because then they'll feel better after, and you'll feel better that they told you, rather than staying in this state where they just don't feel like they could talk to anyone. But yeah, and then I ended up not being friends with this person. Basically, it's not a friend thing. Basically, I went out with this person and it wasn't good, and then afterwards I was down for a while, and then I felt a lot better a month later. A couple of my friends, one of my friends who's in my tutor, he said, "You seem so much happier now." And he was right, because I was so much happier after just leaving it, and after just like leaving, getting perspective, and just getting back to being a bit more in a normal situation, I guess. I don't know how to say it. And then I was talking to my friends more about it. We were being a bit more open about everything, and yeah, ever since I've been feeling better. I love watching YouTube as like a way to get away from, that's really what helped in the end, obviously talking to people, but then having an outlet for something. I watched a lot of YouTube, I still do obviously. I was watching Jacksepticeye because I loved his stuff. He always talked about positive mental attitude. That's also why I got one of his hoodies, and I always tell my friends like positive mental attitude. I scream it at Selens, she'll know what I mean. Be shouting PMA at her all the time, but yeah, I kind of was watching YouTube a lot more, and that was kind of my escape from it all, because I watch like funny videos and I'd be joking and I'd be like really fun to watch, and yeah, that's basically how that happened and ended. And then that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do YouTube for so long, because it's such a creative thing. Even if it's like a low maintenance like video, like I'm recording on my phone, like, and then I edit on my phone and I upload on my phone. Like, you don't have to have a really fancy setup to just create something. You can just create a video. It could be just something like this, just talking like I am, and just getting something out there, and it just makes me feel so much better because I'm excited for every video. Obviously my YouTube notebook is full of ideas that I want to get done, but I can't because obviously the lockdown. But just having an outlet for something, like creating something, instead of putting your negative energy into something positive, like having something good at the end, and talking to someone, because I spoke to obviously my sister and my aunties, and I was always talking to them, like, find someone you feel comfortable and you know that if you tell them and you do not want anyone else to know but them, then know that they will keep that for you, unless they think it's getting too serious. Because obviously if they are getting to a point where it is very serious, like they are very suicidal or very depressed, like you need to inform their parents or anyone who you think could help, because obviously you don't ever want them to go down that route, especially if they're your friend. You don't want them to ever feel like that. But yeah, just talking about it is just so important, because otherwise you can't really get perspective on things, because when you talk about it, then afterwards you think, okay, that's everything that's happened, and then what is next? Because you can't see ahead. You kind of just think about, oh, now I feel rubbish, and now I feel like I just don't want to be here, so I'm just not going to be here. But yeah, I think that's all I really have to say. But I've linked down below chat lines and help places or charities you can go to or donate to help help with the big issue is mental health, not mental health. I'm also going to put there's a suicide prevention, I think is a line or charity down below. We get talked to about school a lot. I didn't really plan on crying in this video, but we move. I hope that helped. I don't know how, but like hearing my story or hearing that you're not alone, or obviously the groups down below. But yeah, I think that's it for this video. I'm not really going to say I hope you enjoyed. I hope you was able to have an insight, or have a bit more knowledge, or have a bit more of a thought about mental health, or a bit more of an idea. Obviously I'm not an expert, so I didn't know everything to say about, but obviously there's therapists, counsellors, there are lots of people to talk to. If you go to school, there's always, at my school there's a school counsellor, or we can go to house or talk to our teachers. Just talk to anyone you can, or anyone you feel comfortable talking to, because you don't want to go tell someone and then just feel like they're going to go tell everyone, or they're going to judge you. But yeah, that's it for today's video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!